welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's been a long time since I've made a video. I think this is the first time I've gotten some peace and quiet since the last video, and I don't know why, I kind of pulled away from YouTube. We've just been really busy. The kids have been sick, I've been sick. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety issues and just a lot of family things going on, and so I'd kind of pulled back from doing YouTube videos, but I really kind of want to pick it up now, especially since we're winding down with school for the year and all that stuff. Anyway, what I wanted to do today is kind of give you an update as to what we're still using, what we kind of tossed out the window, what's been working for us, what we like, all of that kind of thing. So it's not going to be a real in-depth look at the material. Sorry about the bouncing camera. But it is going to be just kind of my thoughts on how things are working for our family. Obviously, we know as homeschooling families, one thing does not necessarily work the same for another family. Just as most of you probably know, one curriculum may not work for or it may work for one of your children and not for the other. So it's a very, it's a big learning process. I'm always changing things up and moving things around and adjusting schedules, and which is really nice about homeschooling because, you know, our public school teachers, which I absolutely love. I have a degree in elementary education. I get it. You know, my heart goes out to them trying to use one curriculum that they don't even get to choose and trying to make sure that it fits all of the children in their classrooms, make sure their children are, you know, where they need to be developmentally. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, I could talk for days about that, but we're going to go ahead and get into what we've been doing. Look at my beautiful, nice stained coffee table. Hey, it does its job, right? Okay, so we're going to do math first, since math is on the top. So, for my daughter, who is in kindergarten, we are doing Singapore math, the essential math. She is on book B. We are, let's see, you can see here, we are about halfway through book B. And we actually do about 3 pages of this a day. And she's loving it. It's very easy for her to understand because of, I feel like, the way that it's presented. With essential math, it does not come with like a teacher's manual or anything like that. It just has the material. You know, it does tell you what it goes over in each unit, but at the bottom it tells the concept, you know, an introduction if you need to give an introduction for that, and if you want to take it one step further. So I basically will utilize that information if it's something that maybe she needs a little bit more work on, or maybe the concept is not clicking with her yet. But we're getting into addition and subtraction now, and counting up to larger numbers, and this book ends with a little bit of an introduction on fractions, even and odd numbers, numbers to 100, ordering, that kind of thing. But like I said, we do about 3 pages front and back each day, and she really likes it. And my son really liked this. I've actually been really happy with Singapore math. This is something that we started with my son in kindergarten, and he's in 2nd grade now, and I don't see us not continuing it for a while. I have thought about, because he'll be in 3rd grade, I've thought about moving to teaching textbooks. I don't know enough about it yet to really make that decision. I want to do some more research. I know they have placement tests, which is fantastic, but as of right now, Singapore math is working really well for us. And they seem, and a really cool thing about this is they seem to not only grasp what they're learning, but they're taking it a step further in their minds. For instance, my son right now is working, he's starting to add like 2-digit numbers together. So like 64 and 24 together. Well, the other day he came and asked me a question, a math question, having like adding 3-digit numbers. So I don't remember what it was, but something like 150 plus 3, 76. And he added it up in his head. It's like he's taking what he's learned and he's actually using it to teach himself further concepts. So I kind of credit Singapore math with that. So like I said, with my daughter, we love hers. We're doing, we are on the 1B. And actually, for his age, he probably should be in, not for his age, sorry. We did 1A and 2A last semester. He really should be in 2B right now. We had a little bit of a break, a longer break over winter because my husband was deployed, so before that we took a bigger break. But we're almost done with 1B, and we'll move on to 2B, and if we don't finish it by the end of this year, which we're probably going to end in like June, then we'll just move it over to next year. That's the kind of the nice thing about homeschooling. And he loves math so much that he would not mind to work on it during the summer. We probably won't take as much of a summer break this year. I've always been trying to adjust the schedule, and I kind of like the idea of maybe just taking maybe a month off so that we can take more breaks during the year. So, you know, I've showed you before with primary mathematics, this is the US edition. You do get the instructor's guide. It's not broken down day by day. You basically do as much or as little as you need to do. You can stay on a topic until your child gets it. But I like how it's written down. You know, it gives you different teaching activities, reinforcement ideas. And so it's well written and just easy to understand. There's also the textbook. The textbook, we use it the way that it's intended, but it doesn't, to me at this point for my son, it's not completely necessary because of the additional activities and the reinforcements that the teacher's manual gives you, but it comes with a packet, so we use it. And then there's just the math workbook, which is nice because the numbers are big, the pictures are big. It doesn't get boring. It's not repetitive, which is nice. It's different things. And so, like I said, he's on like adding and subtracting 2-digit numbers, and let's see where we're going to end. I think we're ending with word problems. Let's see, money, and all that. So, and also for my daughter and my son, on top of the math that we do, our core, we also utilize a lot of the Kumon resources. So he just got finished with his Kumon money book, and she is getting ready to start the Kumon, I think it's Simple Edition. And so I like to kind of have a little bit of reinforcement other than just what they're doing. We don't make it like homework, and I don't do it every day. It's just that they want to, and both my daughter and my son love math, so it's not been a struggle to get them to do anything additional to their core. Okay, so the next thing. So, for our Bible study, we've been using Draw to Learn the Life of Jesus. This is by Charlene Notgrass, and this is just a really fun curriculum, and we really love this. It's very simple and very straightforward. You know, I've shown this before in a video. It does talk about how to use it in the beginning, about the lessons. There are 105 lessons, so depending on how often you might do Bible throughout the week, this could last you a little bit longer. But basically, you have a scripture that you read, and then there's a little kind of activity to do, whether it's drawing a certain type of picture or coloring something. But they really like this. It's kind of nice because you read the scripture and then they do something that has to do with the scripture, and so it kind of solidifies it a little bit more in their head. So we really like this. We'll continue to use this for sure. All right, for history. So we are still hanging out with Story of the World. Now we will not finish this year, and I will say we have gone to a 4-day-a-week teaching schedule because Thursdays we do co-op. And so instead of, and actually I am running the co-op this semester. So on Thursday mornings, instead of trying to squeeze school in really, really fast, we just kind of hang out, and I prep for co-op that day. And we usually leave here like right around 11 anyway, which doesn't give us a huge chunk of time because with my kids being young and so close in age, everything they do has to be teacher directed. So for instance, they can't do their reading and their math on their own. I have to sit with them and work with them. And so doing that with 3 kids on top of all of the other subjects makes our day a little bit longer. So anyway, we're down to 4 days a week. And so with Story of the World, there are, let's see, the chapters. With this one, volume 1, there are 42 chapters. Now, we don't read a chapter a day, obviously. And sometimes we don't even get through an entire chapter a week because you can see the chapters are broken down into smaller sections. We just read one section a day. So for instance, some of the sections have, 4, or some of the chapters have 4 sections. What I like to do is I will do 3 days of reading, and then on the 4th day we do like an activity. And so this is the book that you read for the lesson. This is the activity book. So each chapter has, let me get to it here. So each chapter has a section on, each chapter has its own section within the activity book that has review questions, narration exercises, additional history reading that you can choose, literature suggestions, and then you've got your map work. There's coloring page, and then they all have the activity project ideas, and there's usually more than one. And so like I said, those are what we do usually on Friday, which kind of works because we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to read, and then Friday is the day that we do our activities. And then in the back, so basically half of this book is the stuff, or the chapter resources, and then in the back you have all of the activity pages. And so this is nice because if there's a coloring page, they color while I'm reading the story. If there's a map page, we'll do that after we're done reading the section. And it's nice for them to color quietly and learn to listen at the same time, because I do kind of quiz them after each section I've read to make sure they've been paying attention. But it's another one of those things where they're not just listening, but they're doing something, so it reinforces it double. So we love Story of the World. The way that it's written really works well for younger kids, but also I can see how it would be interesting and easy for older kids to understand it too. So we will definitely continue using Story of the World. It's probably my favorite history curriculum that I've found so far, because I like hands-on. My kids like hands-on, and some curriculums either don't have hands-on, or the hands-on is a little bit above their developmental range. So that's history. Okay, I'm going to jump real quick to science. Okay, so we started, and we've done, for half the year, we did chemistry, focus on chemistry by Rebecca Keller. And I won't say that this isn't a good science curriculum. It's actually is really good. And the kids like it per se. When I say science, they immediately think science experiments, and I have to explain that we have to read about the topic or the subject or whatever we're studying before we do an experiment on it. They've really enjoyed it. We haven't done much of it this semester because, like I said, we've been in co-op and we've been doing some unit studies. We just finished up a unit study on butterflies, and so this is something that I'm going to keep because I also have the lab book, and we will probably finish this next year, or just keep it because it's grades K through 4. I could keep it and start it at a different year. I'm actually looking into maybe trying out the Good and the Beautiful Science next year, just to see how it is. So we'll see, and I'll let you know about all that. Okay, so for reading and spelling and writing and grammar and phonics and punctuation and handwriting, we're using the Good and the Beautiful, and I've done a couple videos on that. Okay, so my daughter is in level 1 handwriting. My son is in level 2. So we have just started the Good and the Beautiful in January. I switched from foundations. Foundations, I feel like, was a good curriculum in that it was very thorough, but it was just almost too dry for me. And it felt, I don't know, it felt like for my son, he needed a little bit more of a push, needed to be a little bit more advanced, and so it really wasn't working out for him. And I don't know, I think it's a great curriculum, it just didn't work for us, I guess, is what I need to say. So anyway, we've been doing the Good and the Beautiful's handwriting. This is my daughter's, and it's cute because they'll have either things for them to color, draw pictures on, and this is the level 1, so it's, you know, tracing and writing pretty much the whole way through. Yeah, so you can see where it's mainly tracing and writing. We really like this too. I can see an improvement in their handwriting. I think most handwriting programs would have worked. This is just very inexpensive, and I just like the way it's laid out. This is my son's, and so it starts with an overview of tracing and spelling, or not spelling, tracing and then writing. And then the farther you get into this one, the level 2, the more you find these, what do you want to call them? Like just the little, like you're not just tracing letters, you're tracing words, or not, sorry, tracing. Not just writing letters, but you're writing words and you're doing copy work, I guess is what the word I was looking for. So it's a lot more copy work, which is good because he's the type of little boy that just does not want to sit still enough to write. And so his handwriting struggles a little bit. So you can see it's a little bit more advanced than the level 1. But he likes it. They might grumble about doing handwriting, but they do it. And like I said, I can see an improvement. Okay, so both of my kids actually are doing level K. My son is in 2nd grade. But with the Good and the Beautiful, the levels don't necessarily correspond to the grades. So like level 1 doesn't necessarily mean grade 1. And so I started him out with this just to make sure, and we're almost done with it, just to make sure that he was where he needed to be. I wanted to make sure he didn't miss anything. And so he really likes this. At the beginning it was a fight, and I feel like we're at a point with his reading that he's not fighting me as much anymore because he gets it. I like how they have the spelling charts and the poetry and all that. I like that every single lesson is completely different, so it's not the same. So we really like this, and we will definitely finish this before the end of the semester. And I have purchased the level 1 for him, which he will start next year. And my daughter's the same way. She's in the same thing. She's in level K, but obviously because she's kindergarten, we're going a little bit slower with her. She's not as far ahead as he is, but she is picking up things pretty quickly. We're actually right here with her, and I'll show you the reader in a minute. But we may not finish with her because, like I said, this is, you know, it's a full curriculum, and we started halfway through the year. So if we don't finish with her, it's just something I'll continue on to next year when she's in 1st grade. But she likes it for the most part. She's at that point in reading where she can sound out the letters and figure out what the word is, but it takes her a little while, so it's kind of frustrating. She's wanting to fight me on it, but I know eventually it's going to click and she's going to get it, and we'll be able to just kind of take off after that point. So we really like the Good and the Beautiful so far, and this is the reader. It's broken down in the sections. The level, or the course book, tells you when to read each section and all that stuff, so it's pretty basic. You know, very, very early level reader. And that's kind of what it looks like toward the end there. But we have gotten halfway through that with my son. He could read the whole thing. I'm just trying to pace him so that we don't just rush through it, because I want to make sure that we're actually hitting things that we need to hit he sometimes wants to rush through stuff because he might know it, but I want to make sure that he's understanding the phonetics part of it and not just memorizing the words as sight words. So, The Good and the Beautiful, we're good with. Story of the World, we're good with. The Draw to Learn for Bible, we're good with. Singapore Math, we're good with. And then my son, who's in preschool, I'm actually using, whoops, I just dropped everything on the floor. We're actually using the Good and the Beautiful course book, or pre-K course book for him. And he really likes this too. I am actually seeing where he is, you know, I can tell he's learning. He's picking up things. He's remembering things. So that's really cool to see that. Because he's 4. He will be 5 in June. And I would not be comfortable with him, even though he would be, by his age, he would be eligible for kindergarten this next year, 2018 in the fall. I wouldn't be comfortable as a parent sending him because I feel like it just, you know, when things click, and it just hasn't clicked completely with him when it comes to the letters and stuff. So I'm happy that I have the option to be homeschooling with him. But this is a really fun curriculum, and it has a lot of activities, and it comes with like an activity pack of pieces and things like that. So we'll continue to do this with him until we're finished with that. It comes with this really cute little flip book that we've been using, and he loves this. And, you know, he's really starting to, what's the word? To learn his letters, I guess. And then I usually, with his preschool stuff, I will supplement with different games and activities, but I've also got, like, this is the Kumon Let's Cut Paper. He likes using his scissors, and that's just fun for him to kind of cut with that. Let's Sticker and Paste. So he's been doing that. I have this Spectrum Early Years book that I just pull pages out of, and we work on shapes and colors, which is still, it's taken care of in The Good and the Beautiful, but it's just a little bit extra, and he likes it. We don't do a whole lot with him because he's so squirrely, and I don't want to, you know, get him frustrated with it. I want him to enjoy doing it. So anyway, that is kind of where we are with our curriculum. Like I said, most of what we have, we are enjoying right now. I feel like next year we will stick with The Good and the Beautiful for language arts and handwriting. We're going to stick with Story of the World for history. We'll stick with the Draw to Learn for Bible. I will definitely do Singapore Math with my daughter. I like I said, with my son, since he's going to be 3rd grade-ish level, I might look into teaching textbooks. I've just got to kind of look into it a little bit more and see if it would be right for him. Science, we're going to try out one of the units from The Good and the Beautiful. I'm trying to think what else. If there's anything else. Oh, and then I am going to add, I think I may, even though there is spelling with the Good and the Beautiful, I feel like it's not as much as I would like. So I think I'm going to add in spelling UC. Still doing a little more research on that. And then I think I may also add in a vocabulary course. I got to look into that a little bit more too to figure out exactly what I want to be using. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys know where we are. And so for the most part, I like what we're doing. I feel like I'm learning a little bit more about piecing together curriculums, because the first time I used first time I homeschooled, I used a box curriculum, and it just doesn't work for my kids because I don't know, they're very particular in what they need for each subject, and so it's a little more work, but it's kind of worth it. And I love that the Good and the Beautiful is very affordable too. That makes a big difference, because when you're buying curriculum for 3 kids, it can get super expensive. So, but anyway, there's that. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.